hey y'all. Hey, it's Rip One Outdoors. Yep, we glad y'all tagged along today. About it there, doggos. Get on now. Get on now. Oh, they just want to chase this deer. That's what dogs naturally do. Chase a deer. We're gonna go out and do a little green ride today. What I'm gonna call a green ride. I mean, look how pretty it is, y'all. Yeah, we back on the ridge here today. We come home from Paul B. Johnson Park. We sure enjoyed that. We got 4 videos out of that, and we've been feeding them to y'all, and hope y'all have enjoyed them. But we're gonna go out today and just do a little green ride and just enjoy some of the beautiful weather. It must be in the low 90s here today. That's Joey, y'all. Let me pull over here and talk to him. Okay, y'all, we're back with you. Talking to Joey on the phone. He's asking me if I had a pellet rifle. Of all the guns I've got, I don't have a pellet rifle. I think he's got trouble with an armadillo. Y'all know what armadillos are? I'm sure you do. I don't know if there's many armadillos up north, but I know they are pests down here in the south. They'll dig your yard up. Yeah, we just gonna get out and take a little ride today. I mean, I don't know if you can see it on that rear view camera right there. That's a pretty sight, that green. The way the sun's shining on it. We are riding the Magicycle Deer today. Yeah, we're gonna break out the old Magicycle Cruiser here in a day or so. We might go riding on it this evening. Y'all know we gotta talk to the horses here a minute. Nah, they ain't gonna come out and say nothing today. My brakes is making racket. I think I got too much sand in them. I'm gonna stop and clean them out. Rub the rotors down with alcohol. See if I can do a little bit of cleaning on them. I've been in a lot of dust, and even some mud one day. Got in some mud with them. Anyway, we're hoping that everybody's healthy and happy and well. Y'all, this is our old place here. I've showed y'all that many times. Maybe if I can find that picture, I'll place it. I'll place that picture out there for y'all. I want to tell y'all a little story while we're riding and looking at the pretty green trees and all. I'll tell y'all a little story that my daddy told me. Story about the busted pea bag. They was going down to Uncle Ellis's, and Uncle Ellis was partnered up with my grandpa Albert, and they was gonna plant some peas, and Daddy was gonna take some peas down there and plant them. And you can pretty much imagine what people did for their seed back then. They didn't have all these seed companies out and about, you know, that they could call, and you couldn't get on the internet back then and order seed to plant. So, because whenever you made peas, you always made enough and saved some for seed. Y'all know that. Most of y'all's been around farming and all. So Daddy said that he was just a boy and some of his brothers were just boys. Maybe had one or two of the girls with them. They was going down to Uncle Ellis's to plant peas. And they was on the wagon and had a horse hooked to the wagon. Yeah, they was heading down to Uncle Ellis's to plant peas. Some of them didn't know it, but they had the peas in a croaker sack. Now, am I talking above your head there? That's a old burlap bag. But they had the peas in a burlap bag. And they didn't notice it. Daddy and them said they didn't notice it, but they had thrown the pea bag over there and it had got up against a wagon wheel. And by the time they got to Uncle Ellis's, I guess by now y'all figure out where this is going. By the time they got to Uncle Ellis's, y'all look at the tongue nuts blooming. Ain't that pretty? Tongue nuts. We told y'all about that up at Paul B. Johnson. Yeah, the tongue nuts are pretty. But by the time they got to Uncle Ellis's, 90% of the peas had just fell out of the bag because they had, the wagon wheel had rubbed a hole in the bag. and Daddy said that they lost 90% of their peas. By the time they got to Uncle Ellis's, they didn't have nothing to plant. You can imagine that was pretty devastating when you depended on your crops to survive. I don't know what they did. I don't know how they made it otherwise. I guess they scratched out a meal or two from something else there. But the hole in the pea bag, yeah. Imagine, yeah, me and Mickey were talking about it. I bet you when they went back down the road there in a few weeks, they probably had peas growing all up down Ridge Road. That's back down there to the right, where when we pull out to the road there, we'd have turned right there. That goes down Ridge Road. I've took y'all down there before. But that's where Daddy and them went down there to Uncle Ellis and them house. Yeah, them old timers, I tell you what, they had to, they didn't have all the stuff we had to depend on. They didn't have the internet. They couldn't make no money on the stock markets and stuff like that. Stock market had crashed. Yeah, let's go down this way. See a little white truck down here. Let's see what's going on. That may be a county truck. Maybe they're gonna come pick up these tires. Yeah, look how pretty and green it is, y'all. I don't know who that was. Maybe they come in to get the old Edmund Fitzgerald there. I was gonna put my camera on the back, but I 3D printed the mount and it looks like the part of the mount broke, so I've got to change that out. Yeah, y'all look how pretty. I ain't never seen the grass as pretty and green. And look at the dewberries here. Talked about the dewberries the other day. Now the dewberries grow down on the ground, whereas blackberries will grow up on a briar up off of the ground. These fellers is cutting sod here. Well, I don't know if y'all can see it or not, but I'm looking down there on Alligator Branch there and them trees. They so pretty. Yeah, they fixing to haul a load out right there. They haul that sod out to the builders or whatever, building houses, and they put it around houses. They sell a lot of it. Pretty good little business for them. If you had your 50, 100 acres there, I guarantee you can make some money with sod. And to tell you the truth, all you need is a tractor and a special cutter that cuts that stuff up and palletizes it. Yep. Well, we crossed an old alligator. There's a big old peckerwood. That's one of them big ones there. Yeah, you see there's dewberries right there. Yep, dewberries. They already got berries on them. Oh yeah. Yeah, we'll be sampling some of them here for too long. And I see the blackberries are blooming already. The blackberries come along right after the dewberries. Remember the blackberries, they grow up on a bush, like a briar bush. Dewberries grow right down on the ground. I always liked the blackberries, but Mama always liked the dewberries because the dewberries made sweeter jelly. She didn't have to put so much sugar. Homeboy loading up his trailer there. Yeah, them old boys cutting that sod. I tell you what, they're getting some pretty green grass out of there right now. Cows have got plenty to eat. Yeah, it's just a beautiful day to ride. How many of y'all's got goats? Any of y'all got goats? I used to own goats. I cleared off about 2 acres of ground with a bunch of goats. No particular breed, just brush goats. Yeah, I had goats. I tell ya, they're a pesky thing, but they was fun to raise. But they could get into more mischief. Oh, I almost run over that little old baby turtle there. They could get into more mischief than you could ever get them out of. Always getting their heads hung in the fence. Or either they'd find something to get up on that they wasn't supposed to get up on it. I've heard of them getting up on people's cars before. And there was an old man up here in Picayune that run a hardware store. I guess some people call it a general store, but he never did have no food or feed or nothing like that. It was more or less, I guess you'd call it a hardware store. But Thigpen Hardware Store. His name was S.G. Thigpen. He's one of the old founders, I guess you'd say, of Picayune. Pewee at the dust. Yeah, he was one of the founders of Picayune, I guess you'd say. Or he come along a little after. But he had him a hardware store. And I tell you, I always remember, he was such a good man. But he had him a radio program that come on. And they called it Thigpen Store News. And if you had something that you wanted to sell, Oh, look at the dewberries there, y'all. Woo-wee. If you had something, that's gonna be some good ones right there. If you had something that you wanted to sell, a farm, back then people sell farm animals and plows and whatnot, things associated with farming. If you had things like that you wanted to sell, you could call up there while his radio program was going on, and he would answer the phone and he'd put you on the air. And they had an old man lived out east of Picayune. His name was Goat Lee. Now, I don't think his name was Goat Lee, but that's what he went by. I don't remember what his name was. But yeah, everybody referred to him as Goat Lee. So if everybody referred to him as that name, then he finally just started calling himself Goat Lee. And he took his phone and he called Thigpen Store News, and while Mr. Thigpen was on the radio, he told him, he said, I got a good goat for sale. And he told him how much he wanted for it, gave this number, and said anybody interested, they could call him and talk to him about that goat. And Mr. Thigpen, he said, he said, I'm gonna write his number down here. And he said, just as soon as I get through with this program, I want to call him, and he said, because I want to go out to his house and I want to see this good goat. He said, if he says he's got a good goat, I have never seen a good goat. So he wanted to go out there and see a good goat. But yeah, Mr. Thigpen has his little hardware store there. He was a good man. And I never forget one time whenever I was just a young boy and I wanted to get out and get on my own and start doing a little construction work and repairs and stuff like that. And I needed some credit. You're talking about the value of a good name. You know, what's in a person's name? Well, you know, I took and went up there and I talked to him, and Mr. Thigpen had just got through his radio program. One of his ladies that worked for him was down there on the floor. His little radio program office was upstairs. And I went there and I told that lady, I said, look, I want to start an account with y'all. And I'm gonna be buying some lumber and some sheetrock and stuff like that, just building supplies. And she said, you're gonna have to see Mr. Thigpen. Well, he come down the steps there in a few minutes, and he said, son, she told me you want to open an account. He said, we can do that, but let me ask you a question. He said, who is your daddy? And I told him, I said, Preston Mitchell. You talking about the Preston Mitchell lived down there south of Nicholson? I said, yes, sir. And he told that lady, he said, you go ahead and set him up. Well, the county's cutting the roads. I would ride down that way, but I don't want something to come out from under that lawnmower. But yeah, the value of a good name. My daddy's name is still good today, and my daddy died in 2006. He was a good man, and he was known throughout the community. A lot of people used to run in and talk to people, and they'd say, who's your daddy? And I said, Preston Mitchell. And they said, well, I can tell you right now, he's a good man. A lot of people, his daddy had worked for a lot of people. We just still doing our little ride down through we just gonna ride out here by the airport, y'all. It's just such pretty weather and everything's green. Let's check out this little helicopter coming here, y'all. He's coming in for a landing. Y'all see that? Yeah, we coming out here in a couple of weeks. They're gonna have an egg drop out here, and y'all know what an egg drop is. They put some little prizes in an egg and drop them out of the airplane. I think they dropped quite a few of them out. Well, they put, ooh, speed bumps. What's that? Something I fell out. That was my water bottle. Every time I hit a bump, the water bottle falls out. Okay. Yeah, we coming out here. They're gonna have, it's like a big thing for the kids. I figure I'd bring the deer out here and show it off. Yeah, somebody don't like their speed bump besides me, because they've been going around it. Yeah, there's some of that geogrid right there. And what that does is that has a reinforcing value, from what I understand. They just put it down on the clay, and they don't have to put so much of the limestone and what have you on there. So it saves them. Yeah, they're putting that rolls of plastic down, and that costs money. And that's going in our company's pocket, but yet they're not having to put, it saves them from having to put an extra 12 inches or whatever of base. That's what they call this limestone and all. They don't have to put so much base down. Can you imagine how much money that stuff's saving them? We bought some limestone here a while back, a big truckload of it. And it was over $1,000 back then. I can only imagine what it's cost now. Hey y'all, we're gonna go ahead and sign off with this one. We hope y'all have enjoyed the ride. Just ride over the road today. I understand it's probably not the prettiest place in the world, but yet everything turning green makes it look real pretty. Remember what I was showing y'all about the dewberries earlier? Right there. Holy moly. Son, it's gonna be, hey, we're gonna be in the dewberry business. You're talking about dewberry muffins and cakes and pies. They're everything in the world you can make with them. So yeah, we're gonna hang up with y'all. Y'all know the routine. Hey, if you decide you want to buy one of these Magicycle bikes, I'd appreciate it if y'all would use my link. It's in the video. Hey, several of y'all have. We got some good reports from Magicycle. People been buying bikes through my link, and hey, it's looking good. I really appreciate that. And we appreciate Magicycle for how they supported us also. Yeah, if you don't mind, hit that like and hit that subscribe button. We'll get on down the road, and we'll catch y'all on the next one.